The Cigar Nerds Podcast.
And welcome to Cigar Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, Smokin' Joe.
I'm Brad Jackson.
We's back, and we're going to be talking about a big man later on. So what are we smoking this week, Brad?
Well, this week we have a big cigar. I mean, it's literally got XXL on the title. But we've got the San Cristobal
Papagayo?
Papagayo.
That's how I'm assuming it's pronounced.
Yeah. But I do believe that this is a collaboration with Don Pepin and Ashton Cigars, and it's right up my flavor profile with a Nicaraguan what is it?
Habano wrapper, and then it's Nicaraguan fillers and binders. So I'm assuming a Nicaraguan Puro. It doesn't say Puro, but it doesn't list any other tobaccos.
But I mean, you got two heavy hitters there, both Ashton and
My father
and yes, father.
Maybe I should smoke with my left hand so I don't smack the mic stand.
Nah, continue smacking away. It's all fun and games. But I mean, just off the rip, man. This wonderful flavor, wonderful complexity. I mean, it's complex without being overly complex, and it's not, a super powerhouse of a cigar. It's
kind of earthy,
I would say medium full.
A little bit of spice.
Yeah, I mean, I get just a mild touch of pepper on the tongue, a little bit of that earthiness, notes of leather, and there's a little, almost like a sweetness, like I don't know, like I'm gonna say cherry, but I don't know that that's
well, you're not looking at the description, and yeah, you called it the company's website says lighter notes of walnuts, espresso, black cherries, and dark chocolate. So good test of your palate there. You were saying all the things that the internet was saying.
Yes. Yay for my palate. I don't know. I don't think I could ever pick apart wine or bourbon, which...
Is there a cigar equivalent of a sommelier?
Yes.
There you go. That's what you should do. You should go get you like a fucking cigar sommelier certificate. Because me, I'm always like, this is good, this is not good. But you're the one that's like, I taste this flavor and this flavor, and I'm like, it just kind of all blends together to me. Whether it's, I can distinguish sweet or bitters and but yeah, the kind of that narrowing it down to that fine, like this tastes like, I can pick out these different flavors. I'm like, it's hit or miss with me.
Yeah, I mean, every cigar smokes a little bit differently. That's why I really like some of the events that we've gone to in the past, where literally, like, you got to try each individual component before you smoked all the components together. And, that really helped me, kind of develop a palate per se for cigars. But, people don't tune in to listen to, Brad's flavor profile on a cigar. So what are we talking about this week?
Well, we're going to talk about Season 2 of Reacher.
Reach around?
Yeah, we're going to do a reach around on Reacher. And if you've got to take on shady assassins working for the military-industrial complex, you should call in the Strike Force. StrikeForceEnergy.com. Use your promo code CigarNerds for 20% off your order. It's nice and light. If you get thrown out of an airplane, it's not going to weigh you down. And
what
also
about a helicopter?
Helicopter. Also want to give a shout out to our boys at King of Camo. Went to an event over there at their shop, and they gave me this sweet Cigar Nerds logo laser engraved on a bottle cap opener. So I was like, dude, you're just trying to make me buy another gun so I can put my logo on my rifle now, because now that I know y'all can do that, like, I want that. And their YouTube channel just hit 32,000 subscribers last I checked, so they're doing better than we are. So go subscribe, tell your friends subscribe, so we can catch up to them. And with that, we'll be right back with the show. And welcome back. It's time to do a reach around on season 2 of Reacher.
I can't reach. Fucker's too big.
Oh yeah, old. I don't know if like Alan Richter is that big in real life, but they definitely shoot it where he looks like a goddamn giant. I think he's like 6'2", but I mean he looks like fucking 7 foot tall, 7 foot tall and 3 foot wide. Because that is a wall of a man.
Some Paul Bunyan type shit right there.
Yeah. Yeah, based on the Lee Child novels, the Jack Reacher series. It kind of, you know what? Now that I've watched, because we were just talking, we need to start reading this book series because, you know, all caught up on Jack Carr books. I need another kind of thriller fix. But the character kind of reminds me of Kane from Kung Fu, where he's just this dude that just wanders the earth and gets into trouble. Because he's like, he gets out of the army and he's like, I'm tired of people telling me what to do, so I'm just going to do what, like, he's like,
just become a nomad.
Yeah, but he's like, only thing he owns is a toothbrush. He doesn't even like carry like a backpack of shit. He's like, no, just me and my toothbrush. I'm gonna roam the world and see what kind of adventures I can get into. And occasionally, of course, he always gets into trouble along the way, kind of like Kane from Kung Fu. I'm just gonna wander the earth and see, and then all of a sudden I've got to take down this fucking counterfeiting conspiracy or shady weapons manufacturers or whatever.
I'm just really disappointed that, you know, the big bad was the New Age Corporation in this series, and I'm really disappointed that they didn't call themselves like Old School or something, you know. Old School versus New Age.
Yeah, New Age technologies. And did you catch? Of course, the whatever boss of New Age is played by what's his name from Terminator 2.
Yeah, I did catch that.
But yeah, like one of the first might have been the first episode or whatever, where they're he's got his man following them around, and he's like, yeah, I tracked down this hotel. They've checked in under assumed names. I forgot what one name was, and then the other one was Sarah Connor. He's like, who's whatever? He's like, he's like a famous old baseball player. He's like, well, then who the hell's Sarah Connor? He's like, why the fuck should I know? I'm like, dude, you were trying to kill her. You should know what her name is.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like how they did the whole alias thing. Like, as long as you never change the initials, you know, you're good.
Yeah, because that was the big kind of the premise is they are trying to.
It's raining men. That's literally the premise.
Well, yeah. Reacher's old investigation team in the army bodies start dropping. Literally, one of their guys gets found dead in the woods, apparently tossed out of a helicopter, and of course, they're not going to leave that up to local cops to solve. They've got to come solve their buddy's murder and get wrapped up in a whole conspiracy, as you do. But yeah, it's basically a company that makes missiles come up with a software chip that basically can. It's like a better guided missile.
Miss, just to come back and be like, haha, fooled you.
So it's like anti-targeting software that will scramble, like, I guess, a missile's guidance system. This system actually uses that to kind of reverse it, so it it actually acts as like a missile attractant. And so apparently these guys have been making it look like chips that were faulty, or taking working chips, making them look faulty, so then they can toss them out, and then they're actually selling those working chips to a broker for a terrorist organization, and homeboy, who's basically no one knows who he is or what he is. He is like, somehow they got a list of his, aliases, and like, it's always the same initials. So it's like, I guess that would make it, if you're a guy who exists with like a false name all the time, it would, I guess it'd make it easier if your fakes all had similar names.
Yeah, but I mean, just signing something like boom, boom, there you go.
Yeah, you don't have to like learn a new fake signature. You can use like, because I mean, if you just do the old, like, how many autographs have we seen where it's like you can tell what the first letter is and what the last letter is, and the rest of it's just like a bunch of squiggles. It makes it a whole lot easier. I mean, it's kind of like Jack Reacher and his books, James, the alias that the CIA gives James Reese, which I can't fucking recall. It's the same. It's like the same like initials. So like, they figure it's easier to, or no, it's like the same first name. So instead of James Reese, it's like James Donovan or something like that. So so it's like, yeah, we keep it like kind of as close to your actual name as possible, so it's easier for you to fucking remember.
I don't know. When people don't know me and they're like, "Hey, Michael," I'm like, "Who the fuck are you talking to?" "Oh, me." "What do you want?" "Why are you using my government name right now?"
"Are you the government?"
"Yeah."
"Are you ATF? Don't shoot my dog." So what I tell you, so what do you think of, before we get into like any kind of specifics? What do you think of this compared to season 1?
I don't know. Once again, for me, I was really like about to text you and be like, "Bro, I think I got to rewatch season 1." Like, I have no retention. Like, good on you for fucking remembering, actors' names and all this other shit. Like,
my head's a whole storehouse full of useless information.
But, like, for me, I'm like, I be like, yeah, I love this dude in movies, but I don't know who the fuck he is. Like, but, to compare it to season 1, I don't,
It definitely had a different feel. And each one of these kind of seasons is based off one of the Lee Child books. So like one book is one full season, which I think the first one was Killing
Floor. Like this
Floor.
one here was almost like, the band getting back together again. So you've got some of the camaraderie. You've got, some lighthearted, humor. But then at the same time, like, as the story evolves,
it's just as violent as like the previous season. So they got the kind of the level of violence the same as season 1, but yeah, this one definitely had a different feel to it, because season 1 he's basically like the loner guy, where this one he's back with his old army, but so it's more of an ensemble cast than just Reacher doing Reacher things, which I kind of like that.
Yeah, see, I like this dynamic because you're getting the team tactics and everything of that nature.
And you're getting a little more humanity to it, where he can be kind of robotic on his own.
I mean, it becomes, one man versus an entire army. Okay, so it's the Punisher all over again, or whatever. Yeah. But where you start introducing more people, that takes some of the pressure off of the lead, but at the same time, like, it opens it up to be like, this is your skill set, these are your things, and this is why he's such a great leader. Like, but yeah, I mean, definitely a little bit of a different feeling, but at the same time, like,
and then the last one was set in the fictional town of Margrave, Georgia, and where this one's like dead in the middle of New York and Atlantic City, so it's like a lot more urban than like the last season. And I think they've already announced season 2 is going to be based on the Persuader novel, which is set in Boston. So we're gonna, kind of like coastal Boston stuff. So that's also kind of the cool thing about these books, where he's just this wandering violent nomad. It's like each season we get like a different setting, like different city, different, gives you different visuals each time around, which is kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I like, I like how they did this season. I mean, it wasn't anything necessarily groundbreaking or anything of that nature. It was just, a good 8 episodes, of action and story that kept me interested. And, it's like we've already talked about. It's like, because of this series, it's like, oh, well, now I want to get involved in the books, I mean, you and I both, have read pretty much all the Jack Carr books up to this point, Yeah,
so now we're having to wait a year between novels. So we got plenty of time to, we got
to
start reading some. I'm going to catch up on some Lee Child.
Doing a lot with, I can't remember the other series, but it was kind of nice because, like, as I was waiting on a Jack Carr book, the other author would, usually have a book, so I could kind of flip-flop. But then the characters were so similar that I'm like, fuck, was this James Reese or was this something else? Like,
oh, yeah. Speaking of Reese, like, I definitely got a lot of Terminal List vibes this season, because this is more of a kind of a revenge story where he's like, I killed one of my team, and now we're gonna start, we're gonna kill all these motherfuckers.
But I like how, throughout the series, they, make no assumptions. I love how everything always came back to that, because it's like,
it's like,
how this
assumptions
looks.
Kill, details matter.
Yeah.
Like all these little, even though they're kind of on a violent vengeance spree, it's like very much like a detective drama. And you saw a little bit of that season 1, but this one with the whole team, really, it's kind of cool where they walk into a crime scene and really start breaking it down. Like, picking up
this
these
almost
little,
gave me like,
these little details and shit.
CSI type vibes at times, the way they were analyzing, certain things. And
or when they find,
at least from a Hollywood standpoint, because everybody I've talked to that did crime scene investigations is like, no, it's not sexy the way that, TV makes it out to be.
Yeah, we're touching a lot of gross stuff. The one that the first guy that they found dead that kind of kicked off the whole thing. He was it. When they find like his hard drive with like his investigation notes, it's password protected, and they're trying to like break his password, and they're just doing like a whole like psychological profile on him to like guess his password. I'm like, okay, that's pretty fucking interesting that like, we've all got just ingrained like personality quirks that if someone really had that skill set of really being able to break someone down, it's like, oh yeah, he would definitely use this.
And see,
this
that's
password.
why I don't need that many people knowing that much about me.
It's all AI, man.
That's fine. That artificial intelligence can do whatever the fuck it wants. Like,
yeah, my profile is like, that guy's an asshole, so whatever he's using his password is going to be some smart ass thing. Fuck stick 47. Oh, we broke it.
Cookie Monster.
Associate Bob. At tankwrangler.com.
No, see, that's all shit I would guess for you. Like, I would be like, what's Joe's happy words? Taint.
Oh.
Goat.
That's fucking Rachel had texted me, and it was like, I apparently didn't have her number, so I had no idea who it was. It's like, hey, I need your email for this thing. So I'm like, okay, it's what the hell? It was like Captain J at tankwrangler.com. And she's like, seriously? I'm like, oh no, sorry, that's my business email. My actual email is this. And she's like, oh my god, you should set that up as a real email. I'm like, all right, I need to like buy tankwrangler.com domain name just so I can make that make that email. And Amanda wanted associate Bob at tankwrangler.com.
That's why we can't have nice things. We'll never have monetization. We'll never have.
And the rains down in Africa. Oh. But as a way to murder people, I forgot I set a daily alarm. Toss them out of a helicopter. I'm like, haven't seen that one used recently. They're like, well, they didn't want to leave any ballistics behind, so tossing them out of But I'm like, there's not that many people that's got access to helicopters. Don't you have to file flight plans and shit? Like, you would think that
when you got enough money, nobody looks into that kind of shit.
You would think, all right, body dropped here. Let's look at the FAA. Who was flying here in the last 48 hours? I would think that would be easier to track down than just running ballistics on putting a bullet in somebody's head.
So you're trying to read way too much into it. Way too much into it.
That's the problem. Like, I know a lot about a little, or a little about a lot, I guess would be the better way to say that. So it's like, it's funny, like, especially things that are kind of in my wheelhouse of, like, guns and science. It's like, Amanda will be watching something and they'll be talking about some shit. I'm like, yeah, it's bullshit. That doesn't actually exist. Or she's like, stop it. You're ruining the magic.
The magic is there is no magic.
Yeah. Glocks do not have hammers, fucking Ant-Man.
But yeah, I mean, for me, it's just, I've gotten to the point to where, even if I'm watching something serious, like, I'm using that to veg out too. Like, I'm not trying to analyze and break shit down the way I once was. Like, no, like.
That's why I don't watch cop shows, because they all piss me off. Like,
well, I mean,
unless they're ridiculous enough that I can, like, all right, this is just entertainment.
Yeah.
Like NCIS. Like, I used to love NCIS because it was just ridiculous enough that I'm like, they're not trying to be real. But then there's something like The Rookie, and I like Nathan Fillion, but it's way too much to, like, y'all are trying to make this look like actual cop shit, and then you're just doing it wrong, and that annoys me.
There is not enough paperwork.
Yeah. Your tactics are shit. Who's your fucking technical advisor?
That's not how any of this works.
No one clears a house by themselves.
I'm going in. Cover me.
Oh, yeah. It's like every time you see somebody, like, rack their slide before they go into a house, I'm like, no one who carries a gun for a living carries an unloaded gun, you dumb motherfucker.
I'm a fucking civilian, and I still carry, one in the
exactly.
chamber. Like,
or they pull the hammer back.
The only time there isn't one in the chamber is if I'm handing my gun to somebody else to check out or something.
Yeah.
Like.
The 4 universal firearms treat every gun as loaded, because it fucking usually is.
Watch those damn reels of people, like, taking guns. Oh, no, it's fine. It's unloaded. Bam! Like, fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, there is no such thing as a,
Got ash on my phone.
Uh-oh. Accidental discharge. It's all negligence.
Yeah. You done fucked up, boy. So, yeah, we got a cast of new characters this time around. We got Neely, which she was in season 1, but now we get introduced to other members of the team. We've got
You got Swan?
Yeah, Swan, which never really got to meet him.
All right, he was in parts.
Yeah, parts, literally. We'll get to that. But yeah, what the fuck is his? I got Jorge Sanchez and Manuel Orozco, Tony Swan, Lowry, which
Yo, I'm Michael Lowry. Oh wait, not that Lowry.
But O'Donnell, yeah, that's the guy I was trying to think of. And Dixon. I like O'Donnell. He's kind of like the smart ass guy, and he always carries like fucking brass knuckles and a switchblade. He's like and he was like the biggest like womanizer in the unit, and then now he's like fucking full on domesticated, got a wife and a couple kids and shit, and like Reacher's just like gives him shit the whole time. Like, dude, you were like the scumbag of the unit, and you're like the nice family man now. It's fucking weird. But I like when he shows up and joins the team, because at first him and Neely are trying to call the guys, and no one's answering the phone, so they're assuming most of the team's been taken out. And then he shows up and he's like, yeah, wife had me on a fucking unplug weekend where we get a cabin in the woods with no internet, no cell phones, and so I didn't get your messages till we got back. And he's like, I'm kind of pissed off about this whole whole Lowry homeboy getting tossed out of a helicopter. So who are we gonna kill about it, sir? I was like the way he was like, yeah, who are we gonna go kill about it? And they proceed to fuck some people up. I mean, and I like Reacher's like fighting style, because he's a big son of a bitch, and he just like that. I like the in close CQB fighting style. It's kind of how I play it. I'm not fast enough to throw fancy kicks, but you get me like within punching range, and like we're gonna throw some knees and elbows and fuck some shit up.
I don't know. Just seeing what Reddit had to say about the season. It's all of Reddit. Like, I don't use Reddit very much, but all it seems like is just a place where people go and bitch.
Yeah, it's basically like TikTok in written form.
Like, I'll be looking at like sim racing shit, and I'm like, what the like? How does it devolve to this? Like, every fucking thread. Like, what?
Yeah, you follow any thread long enough, it's gonna turn to shit. Yeah, I try to limit my places I go on social media. I'm like, Reddit's just, I got too many now. I'm like, my bandwidth is not wide enough. I cannot fall down the fucking Reddit rabbit hole. I mean, every once in a while, if I need like some kind of specific information, I can go on there and find a thread about what I'm looking for. But yeah, otherwise I'm like, yeah, I'm staying. This seems like a large hole that I'm going to stay the fuck out of.
Well, I was in it for like, several different cigar groups and that sort. And then like Rachel's like, what do you have? Why do you have all these NFSW posts? And I'm like, because it's all cigars.
Is that a new rule of the internet? You follow a Reddit thread long enough, you're going to hit porn.
Pretty much, I guess. I don't know.
All right, let's go place our bet. How many posts before this turns to porn? 3. All right. It's like
new record.
It's like how many licks does it take to get the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Whoa.
And then we became porn.
God. How long can we record before our episode involves adult entertainment? Approximately 22 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's like some of the more popular like YouTubers and stuff. I've fallen down a hole listening to like them talk about like algorithms and saying like, yeah, you shouldn't use cuss words in the so many minutes. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're fucked. I don't think we made it through an intro without cussing at least once. This shit's never getting monetized.
We just got to do better. That's it. Just do better.
Nah, that's not fun.
Like, I've slowly. I mean, we're still got my training wheels, but I'm almost back into this podcast thing. I mean, I'm here on time, and I have a cigar now.
Yeah,
like,
you're not sucking on your fruity robot thing there. Is that a refillable one like the others, or is that like a disposable?
No, it's disposable. It's like 10,000 hits, and I just, it's so lightweight, and just I don't have to worry about anything breaking.
It's your lightweight EDC. You have your big gun for like when you want to more serious smoking, and then you got your backup gun.
But
or in this case, your backup bait.
I like the other one because, I mean, dude, it just felt really, really good in the palm of the hands, and it had enough weight that if I needed a bludgeoning device, it's there.
Oh, you know what you need? We know enough guys that make custom kydex. Get you a holster for your vape. He's like outside the waistband, like fucking vape holster.
No.
I'm sure On Point would make one.
Hey, Chuck, got a new one for you.
Yeah.
Now for something completely different.
I mean, Gearcraft used
Dude, that would be almost the fucking equivalent of the damn man purse.
well, Gearcraft used to make those dip can Kydex holsters. Why not a vape holster? I mean, I made a cigar tube like leather holster for.
There's just certain lines that. Oh God, I can't reach.
Oh.
Just see it now. My fucking harness at work, and I got a goddamn like. Is that a fucking holster on your harness?
You got like a bandolier where you're like your fucking tool belt, and there's like just a vape pouch. Like we see those like cool like leather harnesses at like steampunk stuff that has like your T-dueling set or gambling set. Yeah, you can get like one of those like little like slashes and fucking like a fucking bandolier, your vape juices and whatnot.
That's just almost too much, man. Almost too much.
That's what I'm gonna have to get for that hand cannon when I get it. I'm just gonna be like a fucking one of those chest holsters. So I wear it on my belt, it'll drag the ground because it's fucking giant. Oh. So yeah, rabbit holes. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do they try to focus too much on the like? I kind of feel like people are wanting this series to be a lot more serious than what it really is. Like, I think the action changed from season 1 to season 2 a bit.
Yeah, season 1 seemed a lot bloodier. I mean, there was still like some good kills and shit, but I mean, season 1 had a guy like fucking crucified against the wall with his dick hanging out, and I mean, it was just kind of gross at times. But toned down the gore a little bit for this season. It was more like an investigation show, which I don't mind. It was like I said, it was different. It wasn't just like, oh, season 1 worked, let's do a complete like rehash of what we did. I like that it changed, and we see that in the Jack Carr books. Each book is a little different from the last. It's not all the terminal list. It's the character progresses, and we get like some different views along the way. And I'm assuming season 3 will get more of a solo story, but I kind of like the whole group dynamic, and I like the flashbacks to his time with the unit and the army and stuff, like showing kind of where they all came from, and like like his team building exercise. He's like, all right, I got all these people from these different backgrounds. I got to give them some shared trauma to see if they can work together. So we're going to go to a bar that I know someone's going to get pissed off at and like start a fight, just so I can see if this team can,
band
work together. Yeah. And, fucking, and, Neely's like, so, like, why didn't you just let me leave the bar? He's like, well, he's like, you knew we were going to fight. He's like, well, no, I knew that on Thursdays or whatever, this unit drinks there. I know they're stickler for the rules, and I know they're assholes. But what I also know is now that these guys can all work together. It's kind of like you just got to throw them in the fire and give them something to bond them together. I kind of liked his methodology.
Apparently no Zeppelin. Or Skinnerd.
Yeah. He's like, I only do like fucking Crocodile Rock and nothing too heavy.
Little wing.
Oh, some of that dad rock. Or was it yacht rock?
That's... Dude, we're almost in the era of Grandpa's rock. Like, I don't know. I think we've already said it, but Like, I hear Ozzy on classic rock stations now.
Oh yeah, it's like, hell, you turn on like classic and I'm thinking when we listen to like Creedence and shit that I grew up, 70s rock that I grew up from my dad. No, it's like shit from the 90s. I'm like, God damn it, I'm old now. My music should not be on the fucking oldies station. Oh, now do I have to go to the really, really oldies station to like hear shit from the 70s?
That's like you get on Sirius and it's like music from the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
And 80s. I don't know. 80s was kind of a dark time. Except for the hair metal.
Is it all a haze?
And then you got the bands that want to be 80s bands. Which is funny, like I kind of felt young because I went to a concert. It was a 80s cover band, and apparently like downstairs they had like a hip hop club, and like the bouncer kept like, "Hey, y'all can go down to the hip hop club now." I'm like, "No, dude, we actually came for the fucking 80s cover band. Like, I know we're the youngest people in this audience because everyone else like had gray hair and looked 15 years older than me."
That was 37 Main Buford. Like, you go downstairs, there'll be like 10 people down there.
Yeah. Like, no, seriously, we're here for the Bon Jovi cover band. We're not here for the hip hop.
I don't know. We just went there to eat, and band came out, and the band was pretty decent. My buddy's like, "Yeah, they got a DJ and stuff set up downstairs," and we walked downstairs, and we're like 3 of 7 people. I'm like,
yeah, we never ventured downstairs, so I have no idea what it looked like down there.
I was like, "Oh, this is," and the bad thing is the crowd didn't really get younger. It was still like 60 and 70-year-old dudes expecting to see, some girl shaking her ass, but it's still 60 and 70-year-old dudes.
Yeah, the night we were there, it was literally a dude on oxygen, like fucking rocking out to the Bon Jovi cover band. Oh.
I was just like,
come here to feel young.
back in my day, we didn't breathe oxygen.
Yeah, but speaking of Swan and his parts, when they kind of stumble into, figuring out what's actually going on, and that this new age is the bad guys. They find out Swan's like their security consultant, and everything keeps pointing to like maybe he's the one behind all this, or at least complacent. And he's like, "There's no way. There's like, he's got to be dead. There's no way that I don't care what the evidence says. Assumptions, kill. Like, no, like, and even the rest of the team starts to be like, I don't know. Swan may be in on this, but Reacher's like steadfast, like, no, can't be. It's not him. And then they find out that like, they're like, yeah, we needed a fall guy, but I didn't need all of him to like. I just needed his eyeball and his thumb to like, sign off on all these things. And he's basically got like a fucking jar of Swan.
Yeah, just an eyeball, just a thumb. That's all you need.
We just need his digital fingerprint.
Kind of weird.
Scan.
Like, you would think that like it would require like something thermal to be like, like. I think when your hands get cold,
yeah,
and shit on your phone doesn't respond the way it normally would, like,
oh yeah, we've got like a kind of like a time clock at the gym where when we come for classes we register because your advancement, you got to be at certain. It's how they track like how many classes you're coming to, and if it's like during the winter, like I come in from outside and it won't read my fucking finger on the touch screen. I'm like, I gotta like stick my hand in my pocket and warm my finger up before I can actually like log in. And real fingerprint scanners that, yeah, they actually detect if it's a live thumb or not. You got to have like heat and blood. I think.
But do you?
I think MythBusters like did that.
Where they tried to like lift a print and.
Yeah, but just putting like a fake finger on it wouldn't work. They had to actually like basically put it over their own finger so it would read like that heat and like, I guess whatever blood pumping and shit. But yeah, if you had like a thumb sock, you could actually trick one of those thumbprint scanners. But yeah, I don't know how like the eyeball thing, because I would think like your eye would start decomposing. So I'm not sure how long like a retinal scanner would actually work with a severed eyeball. I mean, it worked for Demolition Man, but yeah, that's more Hollywood bullshit. I don't know if like real world retinal scanners would would still pick that up.
Well, go get a spoon out of the kitchen, and we'll start digging.
No, you got to get one of those melon ballers. It's like a little tiny ice cream scoop. That's the best way to rip out an eyeball.
Or a shop vac.
Or a golf ball launcher, apparently.
I forgot. What did they do in Saw 10? It was a shop vac with the vacuum.
Yes. Dude got his eyeballs sucked out. Oh. Yeah, I like...
Did you like the fact that Reacher gets the girl?
Well, he banged that, lady cop last season. But yeah, I like the lady that played Dixon. She was a cool character. She was because she was in the Inhumans, the Marvel series. She played the lady with the long hair. It's one of those things like I don't recognize her until like I'm like, she's kind of hot. Like, where do I know her from? And then I find like, oh yeah, she's been in like
you with the hair. I remember.
She's been in things I've seen. I did not realize that.
Things you've seen involving a black leather couch? No, not those things.
Nope, it wasn't the OnlyFans. That's kind of thing. Anytime like there's an attractive person on like Instagram or a lot of TikTok shit ends up on Facebook and then it ends up in my fucking feed for some reason. I'm like, all right, this lady's hot, funny. $10 says she's got an OnlyFans. I'm like, yep. Hell, even like some of the like musicians and shit now that I follow on Instagram, I'm like, oh, yep, they've also got an OnlyFans.
They're fans.
I know.
Fans of music, fans of art, fans of,
I know. There's a guy telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna start an OnlyFans, but it's just gonna be me doing cooking videos, and it's gonna be called OnlyPans.
It's brilliant. A place just for recipes. Because I've learned that's pretty much what people do on TikTok is the younger generation uses it for their stupid ass trends. Everybody else is just using it for recipes.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, remind me after we get, it's not interesting enough for the podcast, but I got a funny dumb TikTok trend story to tell you.
Did you throw a slushie at your car?
No.
Did you eat a Tide Pod?
No. But Amanda wanted me to participate in one of her, and she regretted it. That's why we can't have nice things.
Is there a creepy doll trend I don't know about? Shit, there's probably a shitload of trends I don't know about.
No, apparently there's a trend where people that have tall boyfriends take pictures from like their boyfriend husband's perspective so they can see how they look to them. So she wanted me to hold the camera up at my eye level and take a shot down.
So it was all boob.
No, it's just the fact that she like, looked super small in the photo where she was like at beard height and she's like, I didn't realize I was that small. Delete that photo. I'm like, oh no, this is going to be my lock screen now. I'm going to like every once in a while, just to piss her off, I can save that. I'll just text her that photo and go small. She's like, God damn it, I'm going to punch you. I'm like, you can't reach.
That would be me. Like, all right, here's my perspective. It's all boob.
Oh.
Yes, I have seen the mountains.
Yeah, I like when they finally get they get caught by the evil corporation, and Reacher walks in there and they're like, yeah, we're gonna put y'all on the helicopter now, and they kick everybody's ass, and he finally gets a hold of like the main guy, and he's like, you'll never know where the missiles are if you throw. And he's like, you assume I need you for that information, chunks his ass out the guy, and they're like, hey, pilot, where the fuck was he flying? Or do you want to get tossed out and see if we can figure out how to fly this thing? Oh, yeah, I'll show you exactly where we're going.
I think for me, probably like one of the funniest things is when he rolls up on the drug dealers. And it's like, I'm going to take your cash and your stash. And he starts, donating to charity and shit. And then, like, comes back, like, a couple days later. You fuckers didn't learn the first time.
Yeah.
Go get a real job.
Yeah, because he's like, all right, things are turning deadly. Like, I'm going to need to get a gun. So he goes to, like, the local church. He's like, hey, my brother's missing. I'm assuming he's, where would someone go to score around here? You've got, like, an outreach program. He's like, yeah, it's probably these guys here. So he just rolls up and just fucking, like, hits dude with the door and, like, gets out, kicks the shit out of him. Like, he's like, all right, cool. You've got guns. I'm going to throw your drugs and I'm also going to take your money. And then goes back to the church, like, yeah, here for the outreach program. And then later on, like, hey, we need some drugs to, like, frame this guy. And the same idiots, like, they see the truck pull up, and they're like, oh, fuck, like, they'll start running. So, homeboy's not fast enough and gets fucked up again. It's like, dude, y'all should pick another street corner.
Problem is, they didn't even have a corner. They were just there in the middle of the sidewalk. That was the first mistake.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you gotta have a corner.
If you're gonna do shady shit, you need to do that shit, like,
in a
somewhere
corner.
less conspicuous.
With an alley.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we haven't even talked about the almost stereotypical New York cop, whatever, Russo, who is the NYPD homicide detective that's investigating the case.
I thought they did a good job with his character. Like, trying to keep him on the fence on, is he on the take? Is he not on the take? Is he, good guy? Is he, involved with New Age? Like,
yeah, when they first, like, they notice him following him, and Reacher just walks up and, like, kicks his fucking car and sets off the airbag and, like, beats the hell out of him, and he's like, oh shit, that was a cop. But then he turns out to be, like, a good guy, and, like, when assassins try to attack him at one of their friends' like funerals, he, like, his first instinct is, like, he goes and protects the family while Reacher and them go fuck dudes up, and then he's like, all right, like, I saw you, like, protect the kids, like, you're actually a good dude, we're gonna, like, kind of bring y'all in, and they keep going off fucking murking dudes, and he's like, all right, your favorite fucking line is like, no more cowboy shit. Like, if you're gonna do anything, you call me first. Yeah, sure. And as soon as they, all right, guys, saddle up. We're gonna do a shitload of cowboy shit.
but they didn't even go to the rodeo.
They did stab a guy to death with a fucking concrete shovel, dowel, whatever you call those little fucking spades. There, maybe that's what they're called. Bricklayers will know. The little triangular shovel you use for smoothing concrete.
Are you into masonry?
And then he fucking chokes out that one dude, just, like, buries his face in the concrete, and she's like, damn, Reacher, when I was a kid, we just put our handprints in the cement. He's like, I'm making stone angels.
But then so we got dead dudes here. What do we do with them? I got an idea.
That's what the Punisher did with him. The last season of the Punisher is like, well, we're pouring a foundation. Let's go ahead and Jimmy
your
Hoffa these
concrete doesn't
motherfuckers.
seem to be passing its compaction test. Oh, there it is. No,
there's a bubble in here
Yeah.
for some reason. Why did this building fall down? Because, well, the foundation had couple
turns out bone is not harder than concrete.
especially when the flesh, eventually, I don't know, it takes air to decompose. I wonder if a body in concrete would eventually decompose, or would the acidity of the concrete, like, dissolve the body eventually? Mythbusters.
Adam, I have a proposition.
Do bodies decompose in concrete, or does it make concrete less structurally sound if you dump a couple bodies in a in a load-bearing wall?
So now we got to get some ballistics gel and some bone.
For science.
For science.
That'll get us some YouTube clicks.
We got some caller from New York. Hey, you guys. This is Louie.
Yeah,
Up in New York. I saw your compaction test. You guys are on to something. I got a little job. Like, wrong number.
Yeah. The other thing is like, my goal has been like video. We have the 2 podcast videos a month. I'd like on the off weeks where we don't podcast to do some kind of non-podcast video. And I've got a couple guns lined up that I was going to do reviews on. It's been cold as fuck in Georgia. So it's like, I got to come up with some video ideas that don't require me going to the range right now because it is either cold or rainy, like every goddamn day.
You get warmer clothes.
It's like the microphone picks up the chattering of my teeth when I can't feel my hand. It's hard to do tack reloads when I can't feel my hands.
You've got the wrong equipment.
So yeah, look out for some non-shooting videos coming up because I gotta wait till spring before I do more gun videos.
Or you just need to man the fuck up.
Do a whole video about, fucking training in like heavy winter gear. Like, can you get your gun out and manipulate your gun if you're wearing like 3 layers of clothing and gloves?
With the right equipment.
Anything's possible.
You should be able to manipulate your gun and such without hands.
I've done that. We shot guns with pencils at one class.
That's why you always carry a pen or pencil.
We also did like some pinky, like shoot the gun with anything except for your trigger finger. So it's like fucking pinky shooting.
Over there trying to grab it with your tongue.
Like, we meant your other fingers, but whatever.
That's a new kind of kink.
You do you, homie.
Wiggle your big toe. Boom! I did it!
Oh yeah, this is the weird mental. Because I've seen those people that don't have arms and they can like comb their hair and do all kind of fucking drive cars with their feet and shit. I want to see like armless range days. See if somebody can like actually like foot shoot.
No, you don't, because like there's an armless guitarist, so he only plays guitar with his feet, and I'm like, I just quit.
Dude, it's still better than me.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
Like, I don't even have a handicap, and,
At least not a physical one. We're both kind of fucked in the head.
Yeah. Definitely. There's no kind of... I feel like we had a lot of banter this episode.
Yeah.
Is this what happens when we don't hang out in between recordings?
Yeah, pretty much. Then we're like just fucking bullshit. Which, hell, that's half what podcasting is. If we can entertain ourselves, maybe we can entertain the people.
All right, so we have like 10 minutes left of this segment. So,
well, when they finally track down Homeboy that, with his fucking initials shows up to the meet and like, they're like, cool, we shot your driver. Like, what's up with the whole like stealing the missiles thing? He's like, it was just a business thing. I didn't kill your friends. Yeah, you kind of. But we're not going to let you kill other people either. So we're just going to like, fucking murk you, dude. And you got the shady senator who apparently authorized all this shit. And he's like, I just wanted to make some money. I didn't know they were going to sell to terrorists. So any way I can help y'all out to like make this go away, do it. So like, all right, cool. We need your fucking bodyguards because they're all Rangers and SEALs. And sure enough, they come in and help them like murk everybody. And they tell like the pilot and like the scientist that was telling them how this. They're like, y'all aren't that bad. Go ahead, y'all can leave. And as soon as they like get in the helicopter, he's like fucking breaks out the rocket launcher.
My problem
and
is like,
shit, it does work.
if I'm in that situation and I'm like, you've got a certified missile launcher, you have our missiles, and you're telling me to get in that helicopter and fly away? Guess what? I'd be like, no, I'm just gonna walk.
Zigzag. But then, like, of course, the bodyguards guys like pull their guns on him, and they're like just completely They're like, yeah. I didn't think y'all would. I figured y'all would betray us before we blew up the helicopter. Like, y'all just kind of wanted to see us blow up a helicopter, didn't y'all? They're like, yeah, saves us from killing those dudes. So, yeah, the center doesn't want any witnesses. And then like, yeah, but by the way, we didn't call y'all first. We also called fucking Homeland Security, and they'll be here right about now. So y'all can put your guns down and go to jail. And then oh yeah, calls up like, here's your boss, and like they hear the raid going on the phone. Like, yeah, fuck all you people that are involved in this shit. And then the cops are like, so where's the money? Because I think it was like $65 million that they were selling this shit for. And then he's like, what money? And then, they're like, all right, let's let the homeless guy that doesn't care about money distribute the money. So he fucking, gives a bunch of money to like his buddies that died's families, even the nieces and nephews of Russo who got killed trying to protect one of the witnesses. And then, fucking took, Neely was wanting to get like around the clock nurses for her ailing father, and he had set that up, and Dixon was wanting to start her own company. He's like, I've already made a fully funded LLC, so you can have your business. And O'Donnell's like, so what am I getting, boss? He's like, not a goddamn thing, but check the credit union down the street. Both your kids are like, got a fairly big college fund set aside. And they're like, what are you doing, boss? He's like, need another toothbrush. Assholes broke my toothbrush. And then fucking Dixon is like, I bought you a toothbrush, and now maybe you can use some of that money for yourself. And he's like, all right, fine. I'll buy like a year-long bus pass so I can just kind of travel wherever the fuck I want. And they're like, and give the rest to like charities and shit. He's like the fucking violent hippie nomad. He's like, I'm just going to travel the world and watch baseball games.
He's violent Santa Claus. Not to be confused with Violent Night.
And as like we said earlier, apparently they've already greenlit season 3, and this one's going to be based off the Persuader novel, which maybe by that time I'll get around to reading some of these novels before the next one comes out.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to check out more of this book series.
Yeah, I got at least 4 months for another Jack Carr books hit, so I can probably read 1 or 2 of these things before go back to the Jack Carr series.
Yeah, see, some of us still commute, so.
Well, the thing is,
You don't commute?
I don't commute, but then also I used to have a lot more downtime when I was working. Like now, I don't have time to do things while I'm working, so it's like I'm reading less books than I used to because I have to do everything during non-work hours. But yeah, I still don't have. At least I don't have the commute time, so I still have a little bit more time in my day than you do, but you could always do because I'm more of like a hardback reader, because I like having physical media just to show that like you look at all my bookshelves, because I need to buy another bookshelf because they're all full. But I don't know, there's something about having that thing on the shelf to say, hey, look, I accomplished that thing. Yeah, but you do a lot of the audiobooks, so you could probably burn through this series quicker than I could. Just
the thing with the audiobooks is I like some of the additional production. It's not just a person reading oftentimes.
Yeah, because some of them do them like an actual like radio play with like sound effects and different voices and.
But by and large, like I'm on the fucking road. Like I'm not really taking a whole lot of shit with me. Like I'm past the point of. Oh, I gotta pack a lot of shit because I'm gonna be gone a while. I'm gonna be like, what do I need for the necessities? Because I don't feel like carrying a fucking thing.
Which one of the books I just read, which I thought was funny because I heard about the audiobook, is Prepared by Mike Glover. It's like a book on preparedness. But Jack Carr does the foreword. So when Glover did the audiobook, he read his book, but that foreword that was done by Jack Carr, he got the guy who voices Reese in the Terminal List audiobooks to do Jack Carr's voice for the foreword.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. But I don't know. I can appreciate stuff like this, like giving me, an awareness of a thing that's like, hey, I didn't realize there were 20 years worth of books before now. We got a lot of books.
So apparently the Persuader book, the quick summary of that one is, walking along the street, Reacher sees Francis Xavier Quinn, a man who should be dead, as he was responsible for the murder of 2 of Reacher's colleagues 10 years ago. Now a chance encounter outside of Boston's Symphony Hall shows Reacher that Quinn got away with murder. Reacher teams up with the DEA to penetrate a smuggling ring in order to get back at Quinn. So we'll be getting Boston.
Is this why we don't find any cool shady shit? Because we don't go to symphonies. Symphonies?
Yeah, we got to broaden our cultural perspective, and then maybe we can find some shady shit.
I mean, damn, like, apparently people like to party, before they, go to a
I forgot about fucking when they tried to, like,
fucking senator's son, like, yeah, get her all dolled up and ask if he wants to party.
Let's go do some cocaine in your car. Oh, the cops are here. And you're all coked out, doing a little Biden action.
It's not mine. Is that your nose?
Yeah. It's not my cocaine, with like fucking powder in his nostril. Yeah, sure it is. So what do you think of this here cigar as we bring this in for a landing?
It's good. I haven't smoked too many Ashton cigars, but I've smoked a shitload of my father's stuff.
Yeah.
But,
the Ashton stuff tends to be a little bit milder for my palate, my father, they're not what I would call strong, but they're definitely bold. I'll give them that.
Like, this is a wonderful, Nicaraguan blend.
Nice oily wrapper.
I feel like it's, at a good price point for what it is. I mean, it's...
And I do like that Habano wrapper. Like,
it's got
I've been
good
smoking
complexity, good flavor.
A lot of San Andreas lately, but when I get a hold of Habano, it's got that nice, like, just pepperiness to it. Which it's not like super super peppery, but yeah, I like that that little touch of spice. It makes it interesting.
But this is definitely a cigar that as you smoke through it, it starts off full flavor and then kind of, tapers down the more you smoke. Like I like that complexity. That's a good,
gives you a good
build
up front and
then,
catches
winds
your
you
attention
down.
and then just kind of smooths out as you go and brings you into a nice conclusion. Kind of like this series, hits you with some crazy shit up front and then brings you into a nice wrap at the end.
So do you see Reacher and Dixon settling down?
If anybody could do it, it would probably be her, because, like, yeah, it was like... But then, like, they get it on one last time before they leave, and she's like, we all knew this was just handling some old business, because... they had apparently flirted with each other when they were in the army, but he's like, it was inappropriate. Like, I was your boss. I couldn't do it. And she's like, well, you're not my boss now. Let's get it on.
But, that final episode, she's like, oh, come with me. Start a life anew.
He's like, no, I'm going to get on my bus and roam, for I'm the wandering man.
Oh, shit, she's pregnant.
Yeah, that'll be the twist on season 3. Yeah. By the way, you're a daddy. Because even Neely was like, hey, like, this has kind of taught me, like, I'm not cool with that, not hearing from you for, like, a year at a time. So you need to start checking in, motherfucker, because, we're family. We're not just a team. Like, fucking, no more, being off the grid until there's some kind of emergency. Like, fucking check in, asshole. So maybe he'll learn to be a little more
I want you on my
social.
Christmas card list.
Maybe he'll learn to be a little more social as the series goes on.
Only time will tell.
That's all we got for you on Reacher. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll be right back with some science. And you've been watching the Cigar Nerds podcast. Check us out on cigarnerdpodcast.com and on the ESO Network, esonetwork.com. And don't forget, smoke them if you got them. Like, comment, and subscribe.